Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Just waiting for my brother, got a little bit of time to kill, so I thought I would make another video about qualifying for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Now, Mercedes, let's just start with Mercedes because, well, they're first and second by an absolute mile, as you would expect. Although, after Q1, I was still, Mercedes always seem to make me believe that they are, they might have a weakness this weekend or whatever. It looked like the Racing Points might have had, an answer for Mercedes in Q1 after they went sort of obviously 1-2. But as soon as it came to Q2 and Q3, Mercedes were like, well, you can copy our car from last year, but we've made a much better one this year. So, yeah, it was another just typical Mercedes performance. We're so used to it now over the years. And, yeah, fantastic job from both drivers. I mean, I think that Bottas was about 10th behind, I think, wasn't he? So, great job from them. They're such a well-oiled machine. Not surprising considering they are sponsored by an oil company, but but yeah, no, incredible job from them again. And you just wonder when they're going to drop the ball, because all of the teams over the last, however, was it seven years or whatever, some have come good, and so it's basically been inconsistent. No one team has been able to be anywhere near as consistently good as Mercedes have. So what an incredible job from them. Moving on to the Racing Points then, and like I was saying, I thought after Q1, oh, here we go, possibly we might be in for a bit of a pole position shootout between the Racing Points and the Mercedes. But as I was saying, the Mercedes just turned it up. But they've pulled an absolute blinder with this copying the Mercedes trick. Obviously, Renault are trying to clutch at any straw. I think they're onto the brake ducts now, in hope that then the FIA will then look at the full car again and find something else wrong with it. So we'll have to wait and see whether that happens. But I tell you what, it worked. I mean, it's probably not a sporting thing to do, but it's within the rules, and they've done it. So it's worked for them. They're obviously well in front of the Red Bull. It looks like it's going to be, if the practices are anything to go by, although it's been very mixed conditions, but it looks like if it stays dry, then it will probably be Mercedes 1-2, and then the two Racing Points behind that, and then it looks like we have a great scrap going on in the midfield. So that brings us on to Red Bull. Don't know what's going on with them this weekend. It's quite unusual. I mean, they normally sort of have a poor car at the start of the year. Well, not necessarily a poor car, but a car that's slightly off the pace, and then manage to work it out throughout the season, and certainly towards the second half of the season. But this year they've come up with a very good car. Arguably could have won. Well, not on outright pace, but they were there or thereabouts with Mercedes, just not quite as quick as them, but certainly in front of the well, I wouldn't say certainly in front of the Force Indias, but I would say slightly in front of the Force Indias. And this weekend, the car looks like it's undrivable from both drivers. It's interesting though, because obviously Verstappen's off the pace of the Mercedes this weekend, but then Albon is still just as far back from Verstappen as he normally was. I think he was 7/10 or a second behind Max at the end of qualifying. Obviously got booted out in Q2, which is a nightmare for Red Bull. That is not what you would expect from the Red Bull team. So yeah, I don't know. Albon's not got. He's clearly frustrated as well, and that's just going to compound and pile up and snowball, and whatever you want to call it. And he's probably going to be worse because of it. So yeah, the more frustration, I think the slower he's going to go, which is really not what you want. So he really needs to catch a break. I can't see him doing much this weekend. Obviously he's starting P12. Is he P12? P13 I think he is, actually. I think he's behind Russell, or just in front of Russell, one of the two. So it's going to be interesting to see how he comes through the field. But I don't think he's going to make an impression on, say, the top four. Definitely, and he's not, well, I've very much, based on previous performances, he's not going to catch Verstappen as well. So if nothing goes wrong, then P5 is the best he can really hope for there, in my opinion. So we're going to have to wait and see. His race pace, we're gonna have to see what the lap times are as well, because if he's like nearly a second a lap off Max Verstappen, then something really needs to be sorted out there, because Red Bull definitely need someone that can, you know, basically what Bottas is doing, qualifying a 10th behind his teammate, in the mix basically with what the car can do. I know people were saying last week, oh, he got P4, that was the best he could do, but he was 40 seconds behind his teammate. I mean, that's not acceptable, really, for at the pinnacle of motorsport. Being that far off your teammate, I don't think is acceptable, and he's not allowing sort of a strategy option for Red Bull, because he's just out of the picture. So it's not like, even if they are slightly slower, then Red Bull still have the option to sort of play some strategy games if Albon is close enough. But unfortunately, he never is close enough. So it's Max against two Mercedes, which are not only a better car, but there's two of them, and there's only one of him. So he really doesn't stand a chance in that respect, unless he's got a teammate that's there or thereabouts with him that can sort of at least, you know, pass the Mercedes occasionally, because obviously Max was running P2 for most of the Styrian Grand Prix last week. So yeah, I really hope Albon steps it up, because I think from everything I've seen, he seems like a really nice guy and everything, but he needs to get the job done. So we will have to wait and see. Final mention to George Russell. Again, absolutely phenomenal performance. I think Latifi did well as well, to be fair to him, especially being a rookie. But yeah, George Russell putting that Williams in P12. Obviously a fantastic job. I wonder whether how much longer we're going to be able to say this for now, because the Williams do seem like they have picked up their game somewhat. So it will be interesting to see whether they can take this through the season. I think they're, with their current pace, you know, a 10th place would be like a win for them this season. So I think that's the best they can hope for, although they are making obviously improvements. So we'll have to wait and see with that. I really hope that they do continue to improve through the season, but they were saying that that this track is probably the track that is most suited to their car. So we'll have to wait and see with that. But yeah, decent qualifying. It wasn't amazing, but decent qualifying. Look forward to the race tomorrow. Obviously, it's very difficult to overtake. Like I said earlier, I think it's just going to be, I think it will be Mercedes. And then if it stays dry, the Racing Point, obviously they seem to struggle in the wets from what we've seen so far. And then a great midfield scrap behind that. So that's anyone's guess who will be where in that midfield. So yeah, look forward to tomorrow's race. Hopefully it's action-packed. Chances of rain, but obviously there was 90% chance of rain for qualifying, and that didn't happen. So yeah, look forward to it, and hopefully I'll make another video about the race. Thank you.